Looking at the Northern Areas Footy Association now, and Spud McKay is on the line with me to give me a hand. How are you this week, Spud? Good to speak to you again.
Yeah, I'm well, thanks, Dan.
It was pretty cut and paste of what we were expecting, a few blowout games, so let's get into them. We'll start out with Jamestown Peterborough. They went down in a big manner to BMW. It was 18-11, 119 to 6-3, 39, so a big margin, but JP able to get a few goals on the board at least.
Look, if you look at it at half time, it was 6-4 to 5-2. Now, if you are struggling in personnel, you quite often find the side is able to compete really well for the first half, but then as their better players drop off and some of the ones underneath aren't able to sort of take up that slack, you then get the result that happened there. And so, like, they've only scored one goal in the second half, and BMW have scored something like about 12 goal in that second half. So that's where you get the blowout, but a very intense competition up until half time.
Absolutely. It looked like a good first half. JP up 3-1 at quarter time, but just struggled to hit the scoreboard after that. Only 3 more goals for the rest of the game. So maybe they'll find their fitness and their endurance over the next few weeks and get a bit better at playing out 4 quarters. But a good win there for BMW, credit to them. And it was the exact same margin in the game between Crystal Brook and Southern Flinders. The Brook winning that one 20-15, 135 to 8-7, 55. So a pretty similar situation there by the looks of things, except Southern Flinders didn't get that early lead.
No, they didn't, and they were 7 goal behind it at half time. And that's what the top sides try and do. That they try and put scoreboard pressure on early, and then that means that they can sort of change players around and do a few things that they mightn't do if it was a really tight game.
And Aaron Filkey, 9 goals, best on ground. There's a reason his name's up in all caps on Play HQ by the looks of things.
Yeah, there is. No, that's the first time he sort of hit that amount of goals in the game, but they certainly got a fair bit of scoring potential up there now. If Aaron hits his straps and is able to do that, then they'll have other players there that will sort of be able to take up as well. But no, that was just a solid performance by Crystal Brook, and they will, they'll use that now to try and forge their way up to maybe a second spot on the ladder if they can.
Good win by the Brook as we look to our third and final game of the round, and this was the closest game of the round, but it still wasn't a close game. Orroroo beating Broughton Mundura by 9 goals, 14-9-93 to 5-9-39.
Yeah, they 5-4 to 3-4 at half time. And then Broughton didn't score a goal in the third quarter. They scored a couple in the last quarter. Yeah, we've sort of tipped that we think Orroroo might be the team to beat. So that was just probably as you expected it, but not by that margin when it's on Broughton's home ground.
All right, Orroroo certainly looking like the team to beat, along with BMW, both sitting undefeated, 3 wins, no losses, and a pretty similar percentage. Crystal Brook 2-1, Broughton Mundura 1-2, Southern Flinders, Jamestown Peterborough still searching for their first win. One of them is going to get it tomorrow because they're playing each other in Jamestown.
Very good round of matches because we've got the teams that are, as you've just mentioned, on the premiership table. They're all matched up. So, yes, that's a very good one. I must mention that it is Umpires Appreciation Day for this weekend, and that's probably an important thing. We can't have games without umpires, and they do a good job fronting up week in, week out to help officiate in the games. And I've got a son that is making his return after a hip replacement in January. He's going to be up at Orroroo tomorrow, so all the best to him in his endeavours to get back, and we hope he's able to sort of have a few more years in him now. So, look, Jamestown, Peterborough, Southern Flinders, I think there's probably... You look at Southern Flinders with Shane Ballantyne, Matt Spenceley, they're their 2 key players, but Jamestown Peterborough have got a reasonable spread of players now. Max McKay has been rucking pretty well for them in the last couple of weeks. If he could sort of get his hands to the ball first and give the Jamestown Peterborough on-ballers first use, that then means the ball goes forward into your forward line and maybe the pressure, but then it comes on to Southern Flinders. So, look, it's a hard one to tip, but I'll go Jamestown Peterborough simply because it's their home ground.
All right, we'll see if the home ground advantage can get them over the hump. And, I'll echo what you said. It's great when you sort of get the best matchups you can possibly get all falling on the same weekend. The top of the table clash, the winless clash, and the two teams in the middle going at it as well. And all the best to your son making his return as well. Not sure if he wants to be called Spud Jr. or the young Spud, but we'll certainly be wishing...
No, he's young Ash.
Young Ash, all right. Well, young Ash, all the best.
A lot of people refer to him as Slasher too, by the way. So. All
right, let's go with Slasher then.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's not slashing anyone's hearts with his umpiring on the weekend. And
No.
Yes, we certainly are wishing all our umpires all the best. There is no game without the umpires. To our next game, Orroroo are hosting BMW. So once again, great game on the fixture here.
Yes, it is. And Orroroo are playing pretty good football early in the season, as are BMW. I would think Orroroo may have a bit more depth at this stage over the whole ground, but BMW certainly have got Cody Wolford in good form for them. Nick McCullum at centre-half back, their captain. Kieran Reynolds is good. Braden Battersby, he's in the back lines for them too. So, but with Orroroo, Darren Hughes seems to be in pretty good form. He's best again for them last week. So he's back to his Mole medal winning form. And then they've got Isaac Moller and Ollie Dignan up forward that will sort of kick goals. But look, Orroroo, home ground advantage, I'll go with them.
All right, should be a good game there. Top of the table is on the line for the winner in that one. And our last game of the round, Crystal Brook hosting Broughton Mandurah.
Okay, so I've got to mention that this is a night game. So all the times have been changed for every grade. So the juniors start at 12:30. Senior Colts will be 1:55. B grade 4:15, and then the A grade starts at 6 o'clock. So I think we only have one night game, but luckily the weather is going to be pretty good for it. It can get pretty cold stuff and maybe moisture around at this time of the year, but that's not the case. So all the best to them. It should it was a great. They played it first game last year under those sort of rules, and there was a really good crowd there because people come up just to have a look and see what's happening in Northern Areas. So Crystal Brook, I reckon, probably are going to start favourites on this one again, but Broughton Mandurah must be starting to. Tommy Whelan, their coach, would be looking for Ben Geitenbeek to continue his good form, along with William Hewitt and Callis Freer. And then you've got Ben Price, Bodie Sims are good players for them. But I just reckon Crystal Brook's midfield maybe looks a little bit stronger, and that's where it becomes important, where Will Coombe and Luke Capitola, Joel Millard, they push that ball forward, and then it gives the likes of Aaron Filkey the chance to be able to kick the goals. Braden Kirk is another one that plays across in the on-ball or across the centre there, and then they've got solid defence led by Brad Eagle. So I'll go with Crystal Brook.
All right, well, if Braden Kirk is half as good as Brett Kirk, I reckon they'll be in with a pretty good chance in that one. Good round ahead in Northern Areas Footy. Spud, enjoy all the action this weekend. Looking forward to catching up again next Friday.
Okay, Dan. Catch you next week.